As Todd Duckwater, Detective Sergeant, Arcata Police Department. It's 13:50. I'm here doing a OAS interview with Scott Aponte and Todd Wilcox. Could you gentlemen just state your name and your position?
Jonathan Murphy, attorney with Raines Lucia Stern.
Zachary Lopes, attorney with Raines Lucia Stern.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started. I just want to clarify that, Scott, you're here because you want to make a voluntary statement?
Yes.
Okay. And your counsel's present?
Yes.
Okay. So, hey, where I'd like to start on it is really starting with your day on Monday, right?
Okay.
So, from the time you got up that day, you're working graves or you're working like a swing?
Swing 40.
Before a single shot is discussed, the detectives make him walk through his entire evening. Dinner. Coffee. A routine drive through a casino parking lot. This is not small talk. Every detail he gives before the shooting becomes a baseline. They are learning how he speaks when nothing is at stake, so they can measure the difference when everything is.
What happened after you left Blue Lake?
I left Blue Lake probably around 6 o'clock to go pick up dinner. I took dinner home and went on my dinner break around 6:30. Got back on duty around 7. After that, I went to Starbucks. It's my tradition after dinner to go get my coffee before I head back out to Blue Lake. So I was driving around the city as part of my duties.
Blue Lake?
Yes.
Okay, so you're in Blue Lake.
Probably around 8:30, I drove through the parking lot at the Blue Lake Casino. I just go there, see what's parked in the parking lot, compare it to the hot sheet. After that, my plan was to go to the office to finish some paperwork. I went north on Charlton Road, went past the roundabout there at Charlton Road, went up Charlton Way, because I like to drive. There's a house up there that's known to me from my work as a house where probationers, parolees, drug house. It's kind of like a flop house. Lets people stay there. So I just drive by just to let them know that I'm in the area, see who's there, see if there's anybody outside. As I came up around the curve there at the top of Charlton Way, there was a blue Dodge Durango backing out of the parking spaces in front of the house. There was room on my driver's side for him to go around. For some reason, he decided to go around on my passenger side. As they passed by, I saw a male driving and a female on the passenger seat. I thought, that's kind of weird. And so I continued eastbound on Charlton Way, back towards Blue Lake Boulevard. It loops around.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm going to go see if I can find out who's in that vehicle and at least try to get the plate. I didn't know which way they went after they went past me, so I took a chance and said, well, they're going out of town. They're going to be on the highway. So I got on westbound 299, caught up to the vehicle just west of Essex. And I called out the plate to dispatch for a registration check on it. And while I was waiting for that, they exited at North Bank Road, started heading northwest. I don't know if North Bank Road is considered north-south or east-west.
Let's call it east-west.
Yeah, it was going westbound on North Bank Road.
Okay.
The Durango very quickly slowed and made a left turn into the first driveway on the left as we came off at 299 and drove down the driveway. I didn't have time to stop or turn around or anything, and I was still waiting for my return, so I continued westbound on North Bank Road to Hunts Lane, and I just pulled up there in front of the stop sign and blacked out to see if wait for a return to see if it came by. Dispatch informed me that the plate returned to registered to the name I recognize from Eureka PD wanted posters as having a felony warrant. Asked dispatch for a local check. They confirmed that there was a felony warrant. About a minute maybe two passed as I was waiting at the stop sign, and I see headlights coming, and it's the blue Durango. So I start following it with the intent to follow it until I can get back up there. I told dispatch I was following it on West End Road, or North Bank Road, excuse me. I heard a unit say that they were on 101 somewhere near Arcata. I don't remember what their cross was at Arcata, at 101. So I said I'm continuing to follow it. They turned onto Azalea Avenue, made a right turn on a northbound Azalea. So I told dispatch which way I was going. They kind of picked it up a little bit. I'm doing maybe a little over 30. All of a sudden, as we were coming up on Chapel Hill, I don't know if it's street, road, or lane, they slowed suddenly and made a left turn onto Chapel Hill, and that's when I called out traffic stop. I figured if I could stop them there, they're near the road, somebody's gonna be able to find me, because I've never been up Chapel Hill. I didn't know how long it was. So I let them know I was doing traffic on that. The Durango kept going westbound on Chapel Hill.
The Durango did not trigger the stop because of something obvious. It passed on the wrong side. That was enough. What follows is a deputy who makes a quiet decision to keep watching, then finds himself on a dark road, alone, waiting behind a stop sign, watching for headlights. The situation built slowly. And that slow build is exactly what made the final moment so compressed.
I told dispatch that I was continuing to follow it. Maybe about a half mile up the road, I tapped my siren, and they picked up their pace a little more, going maybe 35. It's a one-lane road. Reached what I thought was going to be the end, right there at 23:30. And I stopped right in front of the gate because I could see the house, I could see the driveway, and I thought the driveway just ended at the house.
Right.
So I hopped out my vehicle and I had my weapon drawn to start giving commands, and the truck continued down the driveway and it loops around. The truck stopped at the, I guess the apex of the loop, and I saw the driver get out and run into the woods. I called out that the driver was fleeing into the woods, called out a description, wearing black clothing. I ran around to the passenger side and I had my weapon out, and I was telling the passenger to show me your hands, get out of the vehicle. She took a quick look at me, slid over to the driver's seat, and I said this, I didn't intend to do it at that time because I didn't feel I had the need to do it. I said, stop or I'll shoot, thinking that she would stop and give up. She looked at me again, put it in gear, gunned the engine, the tires were skidding, I started getting covered in mud. She started heading back towards the front of the driveway where my patrol car was parked. So I chased after it on foot, the whole time yelling, stop, stop, stop the car. And she got up to where my patrol car was. I thought she was going to hit it. And she stopped just before my patrol car and then kind of went to the left of it like she was going to try to go around. There's an embankment there. And she stopped. At that point I caught up to the vehicle on foot and I was yelling, show me your hands, stop the vehicle. I was behind the vehicle maybe about 5 feet, and there was two cars. There was one right next to me and there was one slightly behind me, and then there was a third car on the edge of the driveway. I saw the reverse lights come on as I'm that close to the vehicle, and I saw it start coming back, and I'm yelling stop, stop, and then I heard it getting a little faster, and I saw the bumper start coming towards me. And where I was there, I quickly thought to myself, well, if I go this way I'm going to hit. I thought my only option was going to the left, so I was yelling stop, and as she was coming, I was maybe 2 feet from the bumper, and I'm moving to my left, and I start firing into the driver's side area because I was afraid I was going to get hit by the car. And she kept going backwards, struck a car. But I had already stopped firing by that time, and I just pointed my weapon at the car, giving her orders to show hands. She said she was hurt, and I could see that there was blood on her hands. She was holding her hands up, and I told her that I've got an ambulance on the way. I'm going to get you help. Just keep showing me your hands. And I stood there watching her until backup arrived.
What happened? Who was your backup?
The first person to arrive on scene was Deputy Moss.
Okay.
And then after that was Officer O'Donovan with Arcata.
Okay. So, what was your conversation? What occurred? You say your backup was arriving. So the vehicle stopped.
Yeah, I called out shots fired, and apparently it didn't come out on the radio. But I also requested medical, and I did a few times just to make sure it got out there.
And so at that point, it's just her in the vehicle.
Yes, and I'm giving her orders to show hands. One of the residents of the house came out and told me that she just ran into the car, and I said, I know, go back in the house. We've had a shooting here, go back in the house. I don't know how long it was before Moss showed up, but I could hear the sirens as I was giving her orders.
He tells the full sequence once without being pushed. That matters. When someone rehearses a false account, they tend to over-explain the moments that need justifying and rush through the ones that do not. Listen to how he moves through the passenger sliding over, the mud, the chase on foot, the reverse lights. There is texture in it. Specific details that do not help his case but appear anyway. That kind of detail is harder to manufacture than people assume.
Show hands.
Okay. So, obviously, I want to go back and, hit some points along the way here. So, when you initially see him in Blue Lake, and so was your thought at that point, what?
It was just, I just want to see who it was, just because I know the history of the house from working out there. And he had driven on the wrong side of the road, so he had committed a vehicle code violation.
So now you say he passed on
He
your
passed on my
passenger side?
Yeah, I had come up the hill. I could draw you a picture if that would help.
That'd be great.
Can I use this paper here?
Yep.
All right, so we've got the Blue Lake Boulevard here, and there's a traffic circle to the casino. And Blue Lake Boulevard there, 299 is that way.
Right.
And then Charlton Way goes up here. There's a house there. There's a business here. I came up right here. The Charlton Way is there. It's narrow, but it's wide enough for 2 cars. My car was there. I saw him backing out, and I was going to give him a chance to go by.
So where was the driveway in relation?
It's not really a driveway. There's just like a big wide spot.
Okay.
So he backed out here. I think I saw them looking at me when they were backing out, and I just waited there thinking he's just going to go by, because usually when people see me come up there, they leave. But he decided to go around on this side.
Okay. And so this is at
Charlton Way is the address of the house there.
right here?
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and write that on here.
Okay. Yeah. Chartin.
Do we want to have him label his car with a P or something like
Yeah,
that?
that would be good. Maybe.
I'll put an S there.
Yeah, that works good. Okay. So about what time?
A little before 9, maybe 8:45-ish.
Okay. So at this point, you say you get a good look at the driver and the passenger?
Yeah, I saw a female in the passenger seat, male in the driver's seat. Male was wearing a hat at the time. It was either red and black or white and black.
You recognize either one of them?
No.
Okay. Do you know the registered owner of the vehicle?
I've heard the name. I can't remember if I've actually contacted her before, but I remembered the picture from the poster.
It's a well-known name.
And
around
yeah,
here.
I didn't know who the registered owner of the vehicle was at the time, so I couldn't say if I knew it was her at the time or not.
Okay. But you're familiar with that person then. Okay. So then, as you follow him out,
I continued eastbound here. This,
Okay. And then-
this road loops back towards Blue Lake Boulevard here.
Right.
It comes out.
okay. So you go back, and ultimately you end up on 299 westbound.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you get to Hunt Road, is that where?
That's where I stopped and blacked out.
Okay, because they pulled into this first driveway, and that's right off the freeway.
Yeah, it was the first
On
one on
North
the
Bank
left.
Road,
I don't
right?
know the address, but it's the first one on the left.
So it's like before the pumpkin patch thing there. Is that in the right area?
Well, that'd be Glendale where the pumpkin patch is.
Glendale, right. So we're at the next one.
At North Bank, right before you get on the bridge going to Arcata.
Got it. So
I know there's a couple houses down that driveway there.
There's a few, yeah. So you pop up on to North Bank, they pull off in the driveway, and then you continue on down.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, they come by? Is that what it? Okay. And so as you go on to, you're on Azalea, right? At what point do you decide you're going to go traffic on them?
My original plan was to go traffic as soon as I had a backup unit nearby.
Right.
But the quick movement onto Chapel Hill, it kind of forced me. And it was like, okay, I'm going to end up somewhere where they're not going to find me, so I better start right now.
Right. So right there at that point when they're turning on the chapel.
I flipped my lights on.
Okay.
When you say lights, it's
I flipped it to 3 on my light bar, which leaves the siren off, but it has the forward-facing red and then alternating red-blue strobes.
So what we would call rotators, right?
Yeah.
I mean everything.
Yeah, it's strobes on mine.
Yeah. So at that point, do you think they saw your lights? Did they not?
Yeah,
And you're basing that on.
the fact that they sped up after I turned the lights on.
Okay. So you saw a reaction from the vehicle. All right. And you continue on with.
Here is where most interviews stay comfortable. The officer tells it once, and investigators nod. But these detectives do something different. They hand him a pen and paper. Because a verbal account can float. A drawing cannot. The moment he puts lines on paper, where the cars were, where he stood, where the SUV moved, every claim becomes testable. A story told in words is easy to adjust. A diagram drawn under questioning is far harder to walk back.
What's your thought process at this point?
I figured they were going to run. I was pretty certain they were going to run and they were going to do that. Like I said, I'm not familiar with that road, so I didn't know if there were any outlets or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. So they continue on, and then there's some weirdness to the road, right?
Yeah, it curves. There's a couple driveways that come off. They just kept on the main road.
Okay. And that ultimately ends. Right. So once you get back there, could you kind of give me the layout here of what you remember?
From where? At the house?
Really
or
from the gate, or from
where I parked my car?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think at one point there was a gate there or something.
There was like a little brick wall with the address on it there, and the road. House was here. I'm trying to remember what the house looked like, but it was kind of like that. There was a yellow car parked here. I think it was a silver one there with a deck around the house, and then there was another car parked over here. And I parked my patrol car right in the middle of the driveway there.
You want to label that P?
Yeah, P. I'll put these PK for parked. Driveway kind of ran around in a loop here. And there's a big grassy area in the middle of it. There's a El Camino parked here. So the Durango went around this way and parked there.
So they came to a stop at that
Came to a stop. The driver went out. That's him running into the woods.
So where were you at that moment?
As soon as it got here, because this kind of slopes down right here. As soon as I thought the driveway ended there because I'd never been up there. I hopped out right here as I parked my car, and I was on foot chasing after it because I didn't know how far the driveway went.
So could you kind of give me a?
I'd say maybe 100, 150 feet.
Okay. And so you're just kind of staying on the road?
Mm-hmm. And as soon as I saw him pop out, I ran across the grass to the passenger side.
Okay, so you end up over on the passenger side of the suspect vehicle.
Yeah, because it's a wooded area here. I wasn't going to go in the wooded area by myself. I came around the passenger side. I saw a female sitting in the passenger seat. She looked at me and I said, "Show me your hands." She made that quick glance at me and then slid over to the driver's seat. And it looked like it was a bench seat in the front from what I could see there. I said, "Stop the vehicle. Stop or I'll shoot," because she had that look on her face that she was going to take off. And I wasn't going to shoot her there because I was out of the way. She drove through the grass, I think it was, and it was kicking dirt up at me.
So are you following?
I followed the vehicle on foot, and it's a car going faster than I could run, so I was maybe at 50 feet away from the car as it's going away, and she came up here and tried to go around my patrol vehicle on the left there, and I had caught up. I'm standing here giving her orders: stop the vehicle, show me your hands, stop the vehicle, show me your hands. And I'm maybe a couple feet from this parked car here, the yellow one.
Right.
About 10 feet from this one, maybe 10 feet.
Ford Maverick, actually.
What, the yellow one?
Yeah, you don't see those very often.
And then I think it was maybe 8 feet from the one behind me, and 5 feet behind the Durango.
Okay.
And I was slightly behind the front bumper of that car. I saw the reverse
of the Maverick.
of the Maverick, the yellow car. I saw the reverse lights come on, and I had seen that the wheels were turned to the right at first because she was making a right turn to get up here, but then the back bumper started coming toward me, and realizing where I was, how close I was to these, I knew that I didn't have much of a way to get out of there.
Yeah.
She came toward me. I'm not trained in estimating speed, but it was, she was backing up fairly quickly. I quickly moved to the place that I thought I could get out of the way easiest and not get pinned, which was this way. And I was a couple feet from the rear bumper here as it passed, and that's when I started firing into the vehicle out of fear for my safety. She continued back into this one. As soon as she passed me, I stopped firing because I no longer felt threatened, and quickly turned around to reassess and make sure she wasn't going to come back toward me.
This is the sentence the entire interview was building toward. He says he was 2 feet from the rear bumper. 2 feet. Not 10. Not 5. 2. And he was boxed, A parked car on one side, another behind him, an embankment cutting off the other direction. If that geometry is accurate, firing was the only option left. If that geometry is even slightly wrong, the entire justification shifts. The detectives know this. That is why they will come back to this exact position more than once.
I started issuing her commands.
So when you're here and she's backing up.
I had to come slightly forward and then to my left to clear this car because there's a path here and then the embankment on either side.
It's kind of a cut bank going down, right?
Right.
So, do you think she knew you were back there?
I was calling at her to stop. I think I was close enough to the edge where she'd be able to see me here in the side mirror. I know there was a bunch of stuff inside, so I don't know if she could have seen me through the windshield mirror.
But you're yelling.
I'm yelling at, stop the car, show me your hands, really loud.
Okay. And she continues back.
As soon as I started shooting, it lurched more, and then she ran into that car.
Okay. So when you're here and she's coming back, how far do you think you were from the back of her car?
2 feet. I mean, it was like I had to try to quickly squeeze through there.
Do you recall windows up, windows down?
The driver's side window was up because I saw it shatter.
Okay.
And the window behind it was also closed.
Any reaction to your verbal commands at that point?
I didn't hear any reaction or see anything.
Okay.
I never heard the engine. I never heard the engine cut
vehicle?
off. I never saw parking lights come on.
I mean, what do you think she's doing when she's?
I thought she was trying to hit me because she knew I was back there.
Okay.
With me yelling at her and knowing that I was following her from there, yelling.
So obviously this is happening extremely fast.
Yes, it was
But
no more than a couple
as you're
of minutes.
moving here, trying to get out of the way, and she's coming by, at what point are you firing? Are you firing from a stationary position? Or
I was
are you...
moving. I started moving, and I was still in the path of the vehicle as I was firing and moving to my left.
Okay. You right-handed or left-handed?
I shoot right-handed.
Okay. So you carry right-handed then, I assume,
Yeah.
right? And do you remember how many shots?
I don't recall.
Okay. So as you're moving, you're firing.
And then I stop as soon as I see that. I stop, and I'm standing right there as she goes by.
And the vehicle collides with the parked cars at that point? Everything stops?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she might have grazed this car here. I know she hit this parked car.
And so you see at that point you're giving her further commands, right?
I turn around and I keep my weapon trained on the vehicle and I'm telling her, show me your hands, show me your hands. She says I'm hurt. I see her kind of slumped in the seat and she puts her hands up and I see blood all over her left hand. And she says, I'm hurt. I said, I have an ambulance on the way. We're going to get you help. I need you to show me your hands. And just keep telling her that until they can get her out of the car.
Okay. So do you move around to...
Watch what he remembers and what he does not. He cannot say how many shots he fired. But he can say exactly when he stopped. That gap is not random. Under extreme stress, the brain often drops count but holds on to the moment the threat ended. That is a psychologically consistent response. Investigators are not just listening to what he says, they are checking whether his memory breaks down in the places real memory actually breaks down, or in the places a rehearsed story would.
I stayed behind the Maverick here using it as cover.
Okay. At what point and what door does she get out of the car?
When Moss got there, he tried to get her out of the driver's side, but they couldn't. I don't know if they could get the door open or not, but they ended up getting her out of the passenger side.
Okay. And you're still...
At that point, I moved by this car so I could watch them and watch this area in case the person came back out.
Okay. Do you remember what she said when she came out of the car?
No.
Okay.
I just heard screaming.
Okay.
And crying.
Did she tell you, did you hear anybody ask about other people in the car or what had gone on?
No. As soon as they got her out, I did move up to the car to make sure nobody else was inside, and I told them it was clear, and I went back to my position back over by this one.
Okay. And at that point, Moss arrives, then O'Donovan.
And they start administering her first aid, and then I think after that, Brian Taylor showed up, and he actually went and got the first aid kit out of my patrol car to wrap her hand.
Any other shots fired at any location?
No.
So it's all from here to here when you're moving? Okay. And did you assist having to do with searching for the other guy at that point?
No, Sergeant Ireland showed up. He told me to wait here. They would go search. I asked him if he wanted me to come help look, because I kind of felt just dumb standing there. I like to help.
Right.
And he said, no, you wait here. And then the undersheriff showed up fairly quickly after that. That was kind of a surprise.
Yeah. So what did you end up doing once everybody was there?
Well, for a while I was standing here pulling security until I was told by, I don't remember who it was. It might have been the undersheriff who told me to come stand back here by my patrol vehicle, and he had Moss come with me as my buddy officer.
Okay.
And then at some point while we were standing around the car, heard a snapping of twigs out in the in the woods here. So he had us move back further just so I could be away from the scene.
Thought there might be a better place. Okay.
Before we move on to the next part, and I'm sorry these are kind of out of sequence.
That's okay.
Just because I'm thinking of the thought of them. When she put it into reverse after going up the embankment, puts it in reverse, lights come on, and as she's backing towards you and you think she's going to hit you, do you remember were her tires spinning? Was she accelerating that hard? Do you remember?
I think I heard them spin a little bit, not like before down here when they were kicking up dirt at me, but I think I did hear them break traction because it was a gravel driveway.
Okay. So it was accelerating, not just rolling back towards you, actually accelerating.
Yeah, and then after I started firing, she started going faster.
Okay.
The shooting is over in seconds. But the scene it leaves behind takes hours to process. Who else was in the vehicle? Whether a second person was still in the woods. Whether the radio transmissions that went unheard changed how backup responded. These are not background details. Each one is a thread that, if pulled, could either confirm or complicate the deputy's account. The investigators are not wrapping up. They are quietly building a map of everything that happened around the shooting, not just inside it.
Going back to when she first stopped down there at the end of the loop, you come up to the passenger side because you've already seen the driver's out, the only person to deal with on the passenger side, and you're ordering her to
Show her hands, open the door.
Okay. What are you doing with your weapon at that point?
I have it pointed at the vehicle.
Does it have a light on it?
No. There was enough ambient light for me to see inside the vehicle, and I think the dome light might have actually been on.
Okay. So
I had a flashlight on my belt, but I didn't get that out until after I fired and I was pulling security here.
Okay. And the distance from her to you is
At that
feet?
down here,
Yeah.
a few feet. Yeah, I was just outside the door.
Okay. So you've got a gun up in her face, just several feet from her,
Yeah.
and giving her very clear commands. And she did the exact opposite of what you told her to do, it sounds like.
Yeah.
When she moved over to the driver's side, did you come around the back of the vehicle to get on the driver's side?
No, I stayed on the passenger side because she moved over quickly, looked at me, put it in gear, and then left. I didn't have a chance to move.
Okay.
So to clarify on this, you're on the passenger?
I ran across, after I saw him flee, I ran across the back to the passenger side.
Okay. But which side are you giving the commands from originally? It's all from...
When they stopped and I came around, I was on the passenger side.
Okay.
Slightly behind the seat.
Okay.
When she put it in gear, did she like turn the wheel and take off at an angle? That's how you would have got sprayed with mud, even though you were...
And the whole time as I'm chasing her, mud's being kicked up at me. I was covered in mud.
Do you know if that vehicle on the left side of everything there?
Right here?
Yeah, the minivan. Do you remember if she hit that?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Did she really come to a stop here?
She did.
So it looks like she kind of ran up on the bank there a little bit. Is that?
I'd be speculating as to what she's got in her head, but it looked like she didn't realize she didn't have room to go around my patrol car.
Okay. But she comes to a complete stop. Is she there a second? More than that? Less than that?
It was around a second or two that she was stopped.
And then you see reverse lights coming on. Okay. And what's going through your mind at this point? I mean, you see she's backing up.
I'm realizing I'm not in a good spot because if she comes back and if I run towards this car, I get pinned up against there. If I run back, I'm gonna get pinned up there. It's either I got to run backwards faster than the car, or I got to try to squeeze through to where she can't get me.
I mean, at that point, do you feel like she's trying to run you over?
As soon as the reverse lights came on, I saw that bumper start moving toward me. Yeah.
The second time through the same sequence is always more revealing than the first. The investigators bring him back to the moment the reverse lights came on, not because they missed it, but because they want to see if the version shrinks, shifts, or stays. A person telling the truth tends to add small details on the second pass. A person managing a story tends to flatten it. What comes out of his mouth the second time, and how closely it matches the first, is the real test happening in this room.
What happened after the snapping of twigs and you repositioned or wisely moved back?
Well,
Okay.
when I was standing here, I put my weapon back in my holster, and I heard the snapping of twigs. I brought it out, and I was standing like this, shining my light on the things there. Undersheriff was standing nearby. I looked at Moss, and he says, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "I heard it too." And like, yeah. So we put the spotlight on and aimed it at the woods there.
Okay.
Undersheriff came up and said, "Why don't we move you guys back a little more?" So we moved back to Moss's car, which was just behind mine.
Okay. And then what?
Sat there until we were until we left, pretty much. A couple people came up asking safety questions, like, "Did you see a weapon with the suspect? Did you get a good look at the suspect?"
Was there another person? Was the driver ever located to your knowledge? The original driver.
I saw them bring somebody back, and his face looked just like the person I'd seen on Charton. He wasn't wearing the hat anymore.
Did you tell anybody that?
I said, "That's the guy."
Okay.
Originally, when I called out a female because from where I was, they looked kind of small. But then I remembered that I had seen a male driving the car on Charton.
So who are you standing with when you say that?
When
When you say that's the guy?
I was standing back with Moss's patrol car, and I don't remember who it was that came up to me, but they looked at me, and I said, "Yeah, that's the guy that was driving."
Okay. How confident are you that that was the same guy you saw in blue?
It was the same facial structure. I'm very confident.
Okay. And again, you've never seen him before?
No.
Have you learned his name since?
From the press release.
Okay. Nobody you know?
No. We heard. I had heard radio transmissions that they had gotten information from her that his moniker was B, and I didn't remember anybody whose moniker was B. The description also came through that I think was incorrect, that he had an 18 on his face, and there's only a few people I could think of at that point. None of them I knew was B.
Yeah, I can think of a few too, but so you don't remember seeing any facial tattoos though, anything like that?
I saw something right here as they walked by because he didn't have his hat on. He had a hat when I saw him the first time.
Okay. Nothing.
It looked like here, and then looked like something just below the collar.
Okay. And you didn't remember seeing any tattoo work at all though when you guys passed?
No.
In Blue Lake?
No.
Okay. What about the girl? Anything identifiable? Do you feel like it's the same? Because there's some time period where you lost sight of the car.
I don't know if anybody got out. I only saw two people. I kept hearing transmissions that there was a third person, but I only saw two the entire time.
Okay.
Especially when they passed me on Blue Lake.
And ultimately, the person driving the car was the front seat passenger that you saw in Blue Lake?
Yes.
Confident of that?
She was wearing the same color shirt. I don't remember what color it was. I think it was pink.
Okay. So there was no doubt in your mind when you're here and you're seeing these folks that it's the same people you saw in Blue Lake. All right. And in the time that you lost sight of them, that's only when they
turned off.
Right off North Bank?
Yeah.
Okay. But once they turn on to Chapel Hill,
I never saw anybody jump out. Never saw any doors open until he got here, and then the driver's side door opened.
And obviously the reason we're asking, I mean, they're in the driveway there. Are these all the same people you saw in Blue Lake, and so on and so on? That's kind of the question. And you feel like it is.
Yeah, and they never even slowed down enough for anybody to possibly get out of that car when they were on Chapel Hill.
Right, once they left North Bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the end of the interview, a second problem has quietly entered the room. Radio traffic suggested a third person. The woman gave a nickname. The fleeing male was brought back and identified on the spot. Now investigators have to answer a question that has nothing to do with the shooting itself. Were the people in that SUV at the end the same people the deputy noticed at the very beginning? Because if the vehicle changed hands during those lost minutes on North Bank Road, the entire chain of reasonable suspicion needs to be re-examined.
Yeah, did you put out any evidence markers?
I
or-
didn't. O'Donovan, when he showed up, he started putting gloves down where he saw rounds,
Mhm.
and then somebody else showed up on scene asking if we had evidence markers, and I told them that I had some cardboard ones in my trunk because I'm also an evidence tech.
Right.
And they went and got them out of my trunk and put them
You don't
out.
remember who that was?
I think it was Brian Taylor that did it,
Okay.
just so they could keep track of where the
People
shells
are
were,
stepping
so nobody
on
steps
them.
on them.
And when you initiate your traffic stop, you put on your lights to their highest setting.
Yeah,
you can say?
I flip it all the way to the right, which is
Okay.
3, which is all lights except for rear ambers, and the solid red on the front is lit.
Okay. And when you came up and stopped your vehicle, put it in park, did you bring down the lights or leave them?
I left them on. I didn't turn them down until afterwards.
Okay, so when she came up and did her little thing on the bank there, and all
It
of
was
your
still
full
on,
emergency
yeah.
lights were running.
She doesn't have any exchange. She didn't say anything to you over here?
I didn't hear anything.
Did she look at you?
She glanced at me quickly before she moved over to the driver's seat, and then right before she put it in gear.
Okay. Any doubt in your mind she knew you were the police there?
I don't think there could be any doubt. I'm wearing a hat that says sheriff on it. I'm wearing a green jacket with a badge and patches on the sleeves, and tan shirt, and I'm driving a police car.
Do you remember yelling that at any point?
I yelled sheriff's department.
At what point was that?
I think when the guy hopped out, I yelled sheriff's department stop, and he kept running, so I ran around there and I said, show me your hands.
Did you call that traffic stop out initially on the radio?
I called that I was following it, and then as soon as they turned on Chapel Hill, I said, I'm traffic, Azalea, Chapel Hill.
Okay.
And then once I got out of the car, I'm on my portable, and the lapel mic doesn't always work because they told me afterwards they didn't hear me say shots fired. And I'm calling out shots fired, roll medical. And I don't think that came out until a few minutes after it happened.
Okay. Anything else you can think of that you think is relevant that we might want to know?
I can't think of anything right now. No.
You see her put anything in her mouth
No, I
when she
didn't.
was sitting there?
I didn't notice.
Did you look in the car at all after the fact, or?
Just after we stopped, I just glanced over the window to make sure nobody was in there. I didn't actually get up close enough to see the floors or anything like that. I just made sure nobody was sitting in any of the seats.
So at the point that you're doing the traffic stop, what if you had to say, the stop was for this, what is that stop for in your mind at that point?
The felony warrant and the traffic and the violation back on Charlton.
Yeah.
That was several minutes prior.
But do you believe that the person with the
Based
felony
on how I
warrant-
was trained, the car's registered to a female who's wanted, and there's a female in there that, kind of matches the description. So I was fairly certain that there was probably somebody in there that was wanted, and that was what I was going to try to find out.
Right. So you say you've never had contact with her, but you know.
I know her from the pictures,
Right. So.
and I can't remember if I've had any contact with her. I might have.
Right. Okay.
But it's one of those names that sticks out.
Yeah. So when that comes back with your background, and like with the name, did she appear to meet that description of what
Yeah,
you were?
kind of like a Hispanic or a native. And,
Yeah.
sometimes it's hard to tell because of the dark skin, but it was that description.
Okay. Okay. So that's what you're thinking when you make that traffic stop.
That it's going to be.
Right.
I've known in the past that from hearing other people talk that she does run.
Mm-hmm.
I think we went looking for her once at Safeway, and she took off running before we got there.
Did you hear her identify herself here at all?
I heard the name come out. That's all I heard. I don't
From
remember.
her or from?
I think it was from her. I can't remember if I asked her name or not while I was sitting there. I might have saying, "What's your name?" I remember hearing at some point her saying, crying.
Okay. That surprised you to hear that name, or?
A little bit. But it's also not uncommon for me to find people who are driving other people's cars.
Right. Anything you think we missed?
Behind me, there was just woods there where I was. My backdrop essentially was just woods.
Okay. So you're firing into the car, but that's what you're thinking it's forest.
It's all forest. As far as I know, Azalea Reserve is right behind that.
Right. Okay. And when this guy ran, he just disappeared in the woods.
Yeah, he ran into the woods. He was wearing dark clothing. I lost sight of him as soon as he went into the trees, so I wasn't even going to bother.
I have nothing.
Just really quickly, you may have covered it, you might have missed it. I just want to make sure it's covered. When she started to reverse the car towards you, could you hear the engine revving?
Yeah.
Does that indicate to you that her foot was on the accelerator?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything
Can't
else.
think of anything else.
If there's nothing else that you guys want to bring up, then we'll stop the interview at 14:17.
The review concluded the deputy was justified. The shot placement matched the scene. No policy violation was found. The woman survived. The male was held on an existing warrant. On paper, the case closed the way most cases like this close. But what stays with you after watching this interview is not the conclusion. It is the process. The diagram. The repeated questions. The careful return to a 2-foot gap in the dark. That is what a serious use of force review actually looks like. Not a verdict delivered in a press release, but a room where someone has to draw exactly where they were standing and explain, in precise detail, why they ran out of options,